Okay, so slight change up for the next one. So this is our next project, and it's a matching gift box that goes with the card that we would have just made, card number 3. So this is actually the gold paper pumpkin boxes. No, it's not, I'm telling you lies. It's the gold pizza boxes, mini pizza boxes. These are currently in clearance, and I think you get 10 of these for £2.60 at the moment. It's an absolute bargain. I didn't want to buy any more purely because I'm trying to use what I've got. But I thought these went lovely, and they're so easy to put together. So I thought I'd quickly get that bit done. So I literally just fold all of these pieces, all the tabs where it's scored. It goes together so easily. There's a few little pieces that will come out. So hopefully I'm still on here. So what I do first is these. Oh look, I haven't done that piece. Silly. So there's also some little, I don't know if you can see them, but there's tabs that are cut in there. And there's some ridged bits that will go in there. So you fold this up, over, and those will click into place that side. And then down here, these will tuck in, as will that there. How easy was that? What I love is there's a little lip on here that'll allow you to open it again. So I used the same paper that is on the last card, this one here. So I'm going to cut this last piece that we have, and I'm going to cut it to 8cm strip. I'm sure it's 8cm strip. You might not want to cut yours just strip. So we need 2 pieces that are 8 by 8. And then 4 pieces that are 2 centimetres. So I'm going to bring this around this side. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 4. There we go. You're also going to need the rest of your ribbon, and where's my envelope? The last 2 punched pieces. Okay, so I'm actually going to stamp this now before I forget, like I did on the last one if you'd been watching. And I'm using the same stamp. This calls for a celebration, and that's from the, I think it was Hello Beautiful stamp set. It's the one with the hexagon dies. I love them. And this is exactly the same. So this one is cut halfway on the straight edge. A dollop of glue in the middle. I think my glue's running out. And you can do as little or as much of a gap as you like. I just like that it gives another dimension again to the project. And I'm all for just getting the most out of my product. There we go. So what you're going to want to do, I've again gone with the same colour flower as I have on my card, so I've got the pink. So I'm going to actually use this piece on the top of my box, and I'm going to use this piece on the bottom because it doesn't have the pink in. But before you do that, you're going to want to make sure that you've got enough ribbon before you stick that piece down there. So I'm kind of off screen a little bit, so apologies for that. But I am just measuring my ribbon. And again, I'm going to go overzealous and I'll cut mine and then measure it on my grid paper and tell you how much I've used. But there's still enough for at least 1, if not 2 cards left. So I have used probably about 1 metre. 40, 80. Yeah, so I've used 104 centimetres. 1 metre is going to be more than enough. I've gone well overboard with how much I've used, but I dislike the thought of having it short at the end. So tear tape would work marvellously. I didn't bring it up when I came up for my live because I wasn't anticipating doing this up here. So I've got washi tape. Just like that. You can use sellotape, use whatever you have. It won't matter and nobody is going to see it. And then one of your 8x8 squares, I would suggest holding the ribbon just so that it doesn't curl underneath, and make sure you've got a nice border around. But that is now on there. What I would suggest doing now is turning it over. What I did was I stuck the sides on without the ribbon underneath. And I know that's might not be everybody's cup of tea, but that's how I chose to do it because I wanted to make sure I could play with it. So each of the 8x2 strips go on your edging. You will notice when we get to the front, there is a cutout in the front, and I stuck it on and then trimmed it because I was unable to. I haven't got the retired little circles which would assist me to do that. So just make sure when you're gluing at the front, you just glue and don't do all of this top bit because we're going to trim that in a second. We're going to allow it to sit for a minute and make sure it's happy where it is and then come back and trim it. Sorry, I'm off screen again. There we go. And that Tombow liquid glue, whatever you're using, the liquid glue allows you to just have that manoeuvrability about it. Now, normally I would go like that, but I want to make sure my pink's on show. So I'm going to go that way around there. Oh, I'm taking a piece of ribbon with me. And that's going on the front there. Now, while that's doing, we'll open this up here and you'll see that you can, the lip there. So that will allow snips in there. Oh, she says, I think actually I may even have penciled it when I first made it so that I made sure it was 100%. So that might be your way of choice because in truth this isn't the easiest of things. But a pencil would work fine. That's had the desired effect. It's done exactly what we need it to, but you might want to go the easy route. There we go, that's all on there. What I'd suggest doing now is tying your bow so that you know your ribbon is exactly where you want it to be. I'd also suggest that obviously if you're going to use this as gift packaging, don't trim the extra ends off yet. I'd wait until you've got something in there. You might end up wanting to play with your bow and you don't want to leave it so that it's not quite where you want it when you get round to using it, because it'll just be, it'll spoil your finished piece. But in saying that, just so that you guys see a finished product, I will be cutting mine. I'll just leave longer tails than normal, but again, I'll use those pieces. This I'll prop up on dimensionals. Again, I'll put them one at the top and one at the bottom. Again, that's so that the ribbon can go freely in between there. And if it falls out, you've got a gap as well to thread it back through. So that will go on there. As before, we're going to need, I'm going to need to play with this slightly because it's a different flower. We need a dimensional on this side. Oh, I've just peeled the back off rather than the dimensional. And a splodgy. This is why you put the lid on your glue, ladies. Splodgy bit of glue on there. We got that all tucked in, and I did have a leaf or two somewhere, she says. I think I've thrown there we go, there's some leaves. I've thrown everything everywhere this evening. If you could see the craftermath from this, and it's going to have to stay here till at least Sunday evening. So there we go, there's project number 4 finished. So I shall see you in a mo for the last one.